For lubrication, the shear jaw will need to be closed to access all the necessary fittings. Grease all shear fittings every 4 to 8 hours of operation. For normal conditions above 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius, use lithium-based premium grade 2 extreme pressure grease. For temperatures below freezing, grade 0 grease is recommended. If your shear is equipped with rotation, you will also need to grease the fittings located outside of the slewing ring and on the inside of the rotating head assembly. Be sure to rotate 2 full rotations after greasing each fitting. The rotator's planetary gearbox internal lubricant is also critical for proper performance and long life. This lubricant is to be changed after the first 50 hours of operation. Attach a 4-foot length of hose to a piece of threaded pipe matching the fill plug on your gearbox. Gearboxes will have 2 to 3 plugs depending on your shear model. With the shear in the vertical position, remove the plug closest to the top of the gearbox and replace it with the pipe. Next, position the shear horizontally so the gearbox lubricant drains through the hose and into a container. Then remove the plug closest to the bottom of the gearbox to allow the lubricant to drain faster. Install the bottom plug when finished. Dispose of the used lubricant properly. To fill the gearbox, position the shear in a vertical position. Fill the gearbox through the top hole using the appropriate type and amount of lubricant as indicated in your owner's manual. The gearbox is not vented and therefore it is important not to overfill it. Genesis typically uses dry torque measurements, but there are exceptions such as the piercing tip bolts, which are lubricated, so please refer to your owner's manual or the supporting documents segment of this DVD for bolt torque specifications. Use a torque wrench and torque multiplier to check all blade bolts for proper torque settings. Blade bolts, piercing tip bolts, and auto guide bolts must be torqued to the specifications found in the owner's manual bolt torque chart or severe damage could result. Loctite or other thread locking compounds should never be used on any blade bolts, auto guide bolts, or split flange bolts. However, all other bolts on your Genesis shear have been treated with Loctite and torqued at the factory. If you locate a Loctite treated bolt that has come loose, do not retorque it. The bolt must be removed. Clean and inspect the bolt hole and/or nut. If no damage is found, apply Loctite 262 or other thread locking compound and reinstall using proper torque as described in the owner's manual.